All right, let's talk about something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but is very, very real. We're diving deep into the world of DAOs, a wild idea from the crypto space that could, honestly, change everything we think we know about how organizations work.
But first, just think about this for a second. What if an organization could literally run itself? I mean, no boss, no managers, no board of directors telling everyone what to do. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that is the huge, radical promise behind this thing we call a DAO.
So at its heart, the idea of a leaderless organization is kind of a digital dream. It's a vision for a totally new way for people, no matter where they are in the world, to come together, pool their resources, and work on a shared goal, all without a single person in charge. And that dream is really compelling. The idea is an organization where the rules aren't just in a handbook, they're baked into code on a blockchain. Now, all a blockchain is, really, is a super secure, shared public record that no one can secretly change. And the rules are written in what's called a smart contract. The best way to think of a smart contract is like a vending machine. You put in the money, you press the button, and the machine automatically gives you your snack. No cashier needed. A smart contract does the same thing. If the community votes to fund a project, the code automatically sends the money. It just happens. Okay, that sounds pretty cool in theory, but what does DAO actually stand for? To really wrap our heads around it, we've got to break it down letter by letter. DAO. First up, the D is for decentralized. Now, this is the complete opposite of how pretty much every company you know works. Instead of a pyramid with a CEO at the very top, think of it more like a flat circle where power is shared equally among everyone. No one person has the final say. Next, the A stands for autonomous. This is where that whole digital vending machine idea really kicks in. Because the rules are hard-coded, the organization pretty much runs on autopilot. If a vote passes to do something, the smart contract just does it. It's automatic. The code is literally the law here. And finally, the O. That's the easy part. It's for organization. At the end of the day, it's just a group of people who've rallied around a shared mission. They have a collective bank account, which is called a treasury, and they have a set of rules for how they'll make decisions together. All right, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like day to day? To see that, we're going to peek under the hood of a really big one, the Apecoin DAO. This is the community that governs the famous Apecoin, which is tied to the Bored Ape Yacht Club. How do things really get done in a place like this? And this is where things get interesting, and frankly, a little bit bureaucratic. You'd think autonomous means instant, but look at this. An idea starts on a simple online forum. Then it needs a week of feedback. Then it has to be written up as a formal proposal. Then it goes to a vote. And only after all that does it finally get implemented. It's a long process. It just goes to show you, even in a futuristic DAO, getting everyone to agree on something takes a lot of time and a lot of work. And you might be wondering, how do all these thousands of people even talk to each other to get all this done? Well, it's not some crazy new Web3 technology. They use the same stuff lots of online communities use. Discord for all the casual brainstorming and hanging out, and a forum software called Discourse for the really serious proposals and debates. And right here, this is where the story starts to get complicated. That beautiful, perfect dream of a leaderless organization starts to collide with the messy, unpredictable reality of human beings, power dynamics, and, of course, money. The cracks really start to show. You can just feel the anger and the frustration in this quote from a real member of the Apecoin DAO. Sad but true facts, and still we approve the most stupid grants. This isn't a robot speaking. It's a person who feels powerless, watching money from their community get spent on things they think are a total waste. This isn't a perfect machine. It's full of passionate people who get angry and disagree, just like in any organization. And that brings us to the absolute core of the problem. The promise was so simple and pure. One token, one vote. A perfect democracy. But the reality? Well, the reality is that some people own millions of tokens and others just own one or two. This creates a kind of class system. You've got the whales, who are the huge token holders, and then you have the frogs, the little guys. And when it comes time to vote, a couple of whales can easily outvote thousands and thousands of frogs. It stops feeling like a democracy and starts feeling like a plutocracy, where the richest people always win. And this chart just shows how high the stakes are. We see that the total value of all DAOs is split between two kinds. You have on-chain, where the money is 100% controlled by code, and off-chain, where some of it might be in a regular bank account.
The fact that more than half of the value is in these fully automated on-chain systems just proves how absolutely critical it is to get those rules and power dynamics right from the very beginning.
Now, before we look ahead, I think it's important to just take a breath. Trying to connect all these dots, from the high-level academic ideas to the raw, angry, emotional drama you see playing out on these forums, it takes a massive amount of effort to piece that story together.
And honestly, this deep dive simply wouldn't have been possible without the incredibly comprehensive content compiled by Soroush Ziaei. That foundational work of gathering everything together is what allows us to have this conversation in the first place. Without that effort, this analysis just couldn't exist. So a huge thank you to him for making it possible. So, after all that, is the DAO experiment a complete failure? No, not at all. Not even close. It just means it's growing up. The community sees these problems, they're talking about them, and they are actively working on how to build something better. This isn't the end of the story, it's really just the end of Chapter 1.
And one of the smartest ideas that people are working on to fix these problems is something called progressive decentralization. Instead of just flipping a switch on day one and hoping for the best, the idea is to start with a small, centralized team. They get the project off the ground, figure out the kinks, and then, slowly and carefully, they hand over control to the wider community. It's a much more practical, step-by-step path to getting it right.
Which leaves us with the biggest, most fundamental question of all. The whole point of a DAO was to use code to build something better than our messy, flawed, human-run systems. But as we've seen, humans are still right at the center of it all, with all our emotions, our biases, and our power struggles. So the real question is, can an organization built on code ever truly escape human nature? I guess that's what we're all waiting to find out.